In this month's Stay Crafty kit, you'll receive a 2.5-inch clay pot, a 1.5-inch drawer knob, white paint, a paintbrush, super glue, 2 black buttons that measure a 1/2 inch across, a 6-inch fabric square, and a popsicle stick. You will need scissors and markers or paint pens. You'll start by cutting 3 1/2-inch strips of fabric from your fabric square. Set these aside. Paint the pot and the drawer knob white. Use as many coats as you'd like for your desired effect. Here's a tip. You can use the holes in the pot and the knob to balance them on the tip of a sharpened pencil or maybe a skewer while you're painting. Then you can set them in a mug or a heavy cup while they dry. As the pot and the doorknob dry, make sure to look through all of the warnings on the super glue. You're going to want to make sure that the tube seal has been broken before you begin squeezing, or else the glue might burst out at the bottom seam. Go slow when you're using the super glue, using just a few drops at a time. You can wear gloves or use the included popsicle stick to hold and press items against the glue, because this glue will immediately bond to your skin. I want to make sure that you're careful as you do this craft. If you don't want to use this super glue, tacky glue or even a hot glue gun will also work for this project. White school glue may not be strong enough for this project. For today's video, I won't actually be completing the project in the video, but I'm going to show you the rest of the steps so that you can complete this project at home. Just imagine that the white paint on your pot is dried now. You're going to set it upside down on your work surface. This is what forms the body of the snowman. And we're going to make his scarf right now. You're going to take one of the 3 strips that you cut, and starting at the 12 o'clock position here on the bottom of the pot, you're just going to use your super glue and put little dots down, and then set your fabric into the glue. Use gloves again, or a popsicle stick, something where you're not using your bare skin, and press the fabric down along the edge of the pot. And you're going to start again at the 12 o'clock position, and you're going to go along the edge until just before halfway. So you'll leave it open. It'll be glued down, and you leave it open right about here. And when that's done, you're going to take another strip that you've cut, and you're going to set it at the 12 o'clock position on the other side. And you're going to go and glue it down along the opposite edge until just before you get about halfway. So you're going to have these glued down, and you're going to leave it open, and you're just going to leave it that way for now. Now you're going to take the drawer pull that you have painted white. Imagine this is all painted white, and you're going to take the rest of the fabric that you have left, and you're going to get a sense of how much you're going to need to wrap around his head to make his little hat. So you just figure out where it is that you're going to want to place the hat. You're not going to put glue down just yet. Right now we're just sort of measuring out the fabric. And so you're going to wrap it around where you want it to see if there's any of this extra fabric that you want to cut before you do this. You can leave it and overlap it. It'll just be glued onto itself there at the end. Or you can cut it and just have it not quite overlap as much. And so once you get it measured out how you want, go ahead and put the glue down and set the fabric into the glue. At this point, you're not going to cut this length yet. You're going to leave the length. Right now, we're just worrying about the width. But right now, just leave the length, and I'll show you what to do with that in just a minute. Once you've got the tall hat glued to the snowman's head, you're going to take that third and last piece of fabric that you cut earlier, and you're going to tie it to make a little gather in the hat. You tie a double knot around it, and then that's when you're going to decide how much you want to cut off the top of the snowman's hat. You'll see when you do cut it that it kind of floofs the top out a bit, and you can fuss with that a little bit to give it a kind of a little pom-pom effect that you might expect to see at the top of a winter hat. With the scarf glued to the body and the hat glued to the head, this is where you're going to now take the head and glue it to the top of this little pot. You're going to use your super glue to do that, and when you feel like that's good and secure, this is where you're going to wrap these open parts of the scarf, and you can make a little tie. And just tie that however it looks cutest to you when it's time. And then once you've got the head on securely, you're going to take the 2 buttons that are in your kit, and you're going to use your super glue to glue your 2 buttons onto the front. And then if you have them, you can use Sharpies or paint pens, something that will work well on the white paint to draw the eyes and the mouth, and maybe a little orange carrot nose for your snowman.